First person I thought of, and I really don't care about the trouble I'm going to get in because, well, this is the Benjamin Dixon Morning Show. I thought of the new mayor in New York. I'm going to start light on him this morning. And here's a clip of what he's doing with regard to COVID-19. And as we look at everything else, all of us are parents on this screen. I want you to take a listen to what this new mayor is doing to the city of New York as it pertains to COVID-19.
We're really excited about the opening of our schools, and we want to be extremely clear. The safest place for our children is in a school building. And we are going to keep our schools open and ensure that our children are safe in a safe environment. When a mayor has swagger, the city has swagger. We've allowed people to beat us down so much that all we did was wallow in COVID. That's all we did. And we no longer believed. This is a city of swagger. This is a city of resiliency.
We need to realize we can't live our lives through COVID. Every variant comes out, we can't spend another $11 trillion. We spent $11 trillion on COVID. We have to figure out how do we live with COVID. Let's be smarter, social distancing, washing our hands, wearing our masks. When it's needed to do mandates for certain reasons, let's adjust and do so, and then we'll come back around. But this is the new reality that we must face.
I don't think I have to say anything else. Who wants it first?
Ladies first.
Brother Mac.
Okay.
Well, listen, I will dovetail it with this. Brother Mac, I will dovetail it with this. He's also advocating for the return of stop and frisk.
That brother is also advocating for a place special to me called the Kunta Hotel. He has some tap shoes on. He wants a primary suite in the Kunta. And I placed the Kunta. I place folks like this in there. Now, let's just go back and deal with what he said. He said the safest place for our children are in schools. I am here in Prince George County, Maryland. Prince George's County is supposed to be, has been labeled for a long time, the richest county in this country for Black folk. And I'm telling you right now, they have had to shut the schools down because of the outbreak of COVID. My son goes to school in the neighboring county, St. Charles County. This week, they are out of school because of the outbreak of COVID. In our nation's capital, Washington, D.C. has now become a hotbed because of the number of cases of the coronavirus, Omicron. So for this fool, it is clear to me what he is what I've heard is happening in Mississippi. In Mississippi, you got these white politicians who run under the Democratic ticket, they get elected, and then they immediately switch parties to the Republican. If this fool don't sound like he got a handkerchief on his head and taps on on the bottom of his shoe to be able to speak this nonsense and talk about how much money we have spent on COVID. Well, fool, let me clearly remind you, 830 some odd deaths, 837,000 deaths in this country because of COVID. Now, if you want to put a price tag on that, please go right ahead. But trust and believe, the swagger that you're talking about, see, you're reminding us of the Candace Owens counter, the Omarosa. They're going to pet your little black bald head until they done with you. And once they done with you, there'll be no more patting of your head, but it'll be a foot right up your ass as they kick you. And we'll be visiting you 3 to 4 years from now, where you'll be just another example of what the man has done with you when you've turned your back, not only on common sense, but you've turned your back on our community. Be done with you. You're dismissed.
Drop the mic. I mean, what do you say after that?
You tell that fool deuces. That's a Bob Felicia kind of moment. Because I'm going to tell you this. He ain't a man. He's a B kind of brother.
What did you put in your coffee this morning?
Hey, man,
what was your New Year's resolution? Because
it was the ID brand.
A whole new brother
He chose violence. He chose violence.
Usually when we come on your show, George, we're all professional. We're talking about this and that. But then what do you guys do? You bring me back. I've been gone for a minute. And now you tee me up with this dude. You know he was a trigger point for me. You knew it, baby. Georgia, you knew it too. All right.
So Ben, I had no idea he was going to play that clip. Don't blame me.
I'm going to go to the clip that she thought we were going to play. Ben, before you go to the rest of the COVID stuff, unless Georgia has thoughts on that one, you might want to go to Vaughn.
Because Vaughn fit.
The only thing I'll say, because whenever we're having these conversations about COVID, there is a level of seriousness that we have to have, especially when we're talking about our babies.
Yes.
We knew from the very beginning when the CDC and the president allowed schools to reopen, we knew it was going to be detrimental for our children. And we brought on people to talk about homeschooling and different options. And we know that's not a possibility for a lot of people, but here we are. And even the CDC has rolled back the amount of time that you have to quarantine from, I think it was started out at 14 days during the beginning of the pandemic. It went down to 10. Now it's down to 5. So after 5 days, you can be out in public. I know more people now with COVID than I have through the entire pandemic. And so this thing isn't over. If you haven't been vaccinated, the people I know who haven't been vaccinated, who have gotten it, have been on ventilators or have passed away. And so I haven't been the person throughout the whole pandemic trying to tell people what to do. Your health, it's your body, it's your choice. But the thing that deeply disturbs me is nowhere in any of this messaging, whether it's coming from politicians, from scientists, from medical professionals, I really haven't heard anyone saying boost your immunity. At the end of the day, this is a disease that we know, if you have a compromised immune system, will overtake your body. And so regardless of what you do, whether you're vaxxed or not vaxxed, you can do some simple things like take vitamin C, vitamin D. They have the little organic immunity booster shots that you can get from the grocery store. No, is this saying it's going to save your life? No, but it's going to equip your body with what it needs to be able to fight anything, whether it's a common cold or whether it's coronavirus.
I'm thinking about those things that you're talking about, Georgia, and the fact that these people don't want you to do any of the things that would save your life. Not only do they not want you to take the vaccine, they also don't want you to socially distance. And I'm including Eric Adams in this conversation because they also want you to send your kids back to these incubators called schools, right? These petri dishes called schools. I mean, on the best of days, when the sun is shining bright and there's not a cloud in the sky and the wind is blowing just right, every school in this country is a petri dish that sends viruses home to families. And for Eric to say he doesn't even deserve to be called mayor, to say that the safest place for our children is in the schools is a direct lie to our face, you sociopathic pig.
Right.
Try it with another community.
And Ben, let me be very clear. I can remember picking my son up and he would often say to me, Dad, we're not in the school. They're not wearing their masks. They're not socially distancing. And then the next time I picked him up, he said to me, Dad, there were only about 5 of us in the classroom. Now, that classroom had somewhere close to 30 students. There were only 5 students in the class because everybody else was out for COVID. And then shortly after, the school now says, because of the uptick in COVID, we're now going back to virtual learning. I heard it in Charles County, and then it turns right around in Prince George's County. So I'm not talking about what I think is happening, Ben. I'm not talking theoretical. I'm saying to you exactly what I have witnessed right here with my own child. And so for that fool to get up there and say to us that the safest place for our children to be is in schools, but I also want to hearken us back of where this began. Earlier, Ben, we were talking about Donald Trump. This is, again, part of what even our community has done, because you remember when they politicized it, especially Trump, this is a virus that's going to go away in a couple of days. We got this thing, 830 some odd thousand deaths later because he trivialized it. And then they started talking about what's in the vaccine. And for us as Black folks to start talking about what's in the vaccine, hey, how about what's in a pack of Church's chicken? What's in that McDonald's? What's in the Coke that you drink?
What's in that Newport you got? Come on, man.
But now we done bought into it. We done bought into it to the fact that now that, as George, as you said, we got these pre-existing conditions. And now we done let this fool put something in our mind to make us say, let us question it. You can't even tell me what's in a damn aspirin.
Come on.
And yet
Come on,
you
somebody.
Watch 830 some odd thousand people die from this. You done watch people close to you get sick from this thing, have to go on ventilators.
That's right.
And you want to carry that narrative of what's in it versus using something to save your life.